By protests showing no signs of slowing down, and health experts are growing concerned over how the public demonstrations could worsen the spread of COVID-19. Dr. Raywat Deonandan is an epidemiologist at the University of Ottawa and joins us now with more. Dr. Deonandan, first of all, we know that many demonstrators are doing what they can. They're wearing masks, they're keeping physical distancing where they can, but it's almost impossible at points. How long would it take to become apparent that the virus has spread because of these protests?
Well, it takes about a median of 5 days between exposure and most symptoms arising. And then, of course, people have to present themselves for testing. And then it takes a few days for the test results to come back. So by the time we see an effect in the data stream, it'll be about 2 weeks, maybe even 3 weeks. We won't know the effects of these protests, if any at all, until 2 or 3 weeks from now.
Are the biggest concerns then, too, for people now that have attended these demonstrations, be it here in Ottawa or elsewhere around the country or in the United States, even around the world, that they're going to have all those contacts after this now and the possibility of having a huge wave spreading?
That's a fair concern to have. Most of the demonstrators are young and fit, and so they probably aren't going to have the same deleterious outcomes as more compromised people, but they have the possibility of spreading it to other people. So the concern should be, can they now isolate themselves and prevent further contact with other people? That would be the responsible thing to do after coming back from a protest, I think.
That is your advice, just to be clear, too, for people that have been at a demonstration, is to isolate as much as possible?
As much as possible. Obviously, it's not entirely possible these days. And if you're wearing your mask and maintaining your distance at the demonstration, that's probably the best we can do at this point. There's something to be said for being outdoors. There probably is a diminished amount of transmission. Historically, though, after the 1918 flu, there were some parades happening, and we saw some spikes immediately after those parades. So there's a historical precedent for outdoor mass gatherings causing further waves during a pandemic.
Okay, it's interesting to note that, too, because let's talk about that, I guess, just briefly a little bit more, too. Can these cause, because for the most part, in most parts of the country, at least at this point, the curve has been flattened, or at least we are certainly holding steady. Could these protests, could these demonstrations cause a second wave either in Canada or other countries all by themselves?
They could. It's unclear whether they will, and hopefully they won't. It depends entirely on how the people have been behaving at the demonstrations. Are they maintaining their distances? Are they engaging in hand hygiene? Are they not touching their faces? Are they wearing masks? And are they isolating after they come back home? And who are they interacting with when they come back home? So depending upon how people behave, it is possible to see the start of an earlier second wave as a result of this, or it might be avoidable entirely if people have been responsible.
Okay, we guess just now it's a wait-and-see approach. Dr. Raywat Deonandan, appreciate this. Thank you for the time, sir.